Hello and welcome to this kind of tutorial step through, and it's some concept I was playing with. So for example, we can take a simple plain image of the valley and just create something more, maybe in a movie, something not realistic or surrealistic or other effect by creating just add a night effect. You can also apply maybe some painting effect to this or any other effect to create more as a drawing or other. But overall idea was to create a simple image taking and creating something not exist, some surrealistic kind of looking photo. So let's go ahead and start working on this. Okay, so right here is some images I took it from last trip to England, and it's London streets. It is an interesting image what I selected. It's have some story maybe, but I want visually a bit more pop up. And when I photo shoot, of course I photo shoot in level to use for my compositing if I need it. But I look on all these images, this is a little bit blurry, it's bad, and I think this one is just sharp, so we'll go use this as our base. Let's go ahead and open inside the camera raw so we can adjust some options. Couple things I see right here, it is level. We do have a subway sign, but you know what, this is image I'm not doing for the stock. If you're doing for sale online or other things, you want to remove probably some of those copyright names and other stuff, but I'm doing for myself, so I don't really right now care about those names or branding there. Okay, couple things let's modify first in the raw, and we'll use it to remove chromatic abbreviation on edges and just enable profile. So it will help us remove some of those corners a bit, even our image, distortion of our lens. Next we'll go to our basic settings, we'll take highlights, and let's take highlights all the way to the down. And you can see we'll just kind of remove some of this blowing up and whites. We also can little bit flatten by adding shadows. I don't think we need to add any vibrance. We'll go into sharpness and bring sharpness about 70-80, somewhere between this, just to restore natural sharpness to the image. Again, the reason I'm doing this because it was shot with a Canon 5D Mark III, which is have an in-camera anti-aliasing, and I'm just kind of trying to restore what the camera added. Depending on what your camera you need look, because if you have some new EOS R or you have a Nikon, some other cameras, they don't have this anti-aliasing, so you maybe have a different value set for you. Okay, next let's go to HSL adjustment luminance, and here we can modify a little bit brightness. And usually I'm just looking, if we take down oranges, look on this bricks. If we modify elements for this, we can bring a little bit details, create a little bit more interesting, I think, texturing, and that's what we're doing. So we'll modify this. We can take our blues, bring blues a little bit down. Also the luminosity, we'll look at the whites. Let's bring those ones a little bit down. I think this is about all what I was carrying. It's like add a little bit more texturing by reducing luminance on some of those bricks. Okay, I think that is about all what we want to do. Also, let's go click on the sign below Adobe RGB, and I'm working with Adobe RGB color space and using 16-bit channel. Some filters may be not available in Photoshop. We're using 16-bit, but it will give it a little bit better for us on the gradient and other stepping. So let's go click OK, and we'll go ahead and open image inside the Photoshop. First step, I notice our actually horizontal line, it's not even, and I want to do this by selecting our tools and just adjusting. What I'm looking right here, leave it adjustments, it's going parallel with our bus. If you don't want to lose some content, I think for this it's not very big, so content aware will work a little bit nicer here. And again, I'm just kind of aligning. Be sure this line like horizon goes straight. Okay, when we're done, let's press enter. Okay, it will take a second and it should process for us. Okay, right here we have our image, and you can see we actually small areas we added. You hardly can see. Right here maybe a little bit you can see, but I don't really worry about this because we'll go to hide those elements. Okay, overall, we look on our image, and to make it nighttime, so let's do this. Yeah, we'll do by punching in night, darker, and lighting some elements. Our sky need be changed. So we'll go to create a new layer first, and we'll go to, let's take magic wand, and just maybe go right around here. Okay, maybe select our sky, and that's not necessary. Okay, yeah, let's deselecting. Okay, let's go right on our image. Oops, wrong one. So we'll go right here, select there. I think that is about right. That will be for our sky. Okay, and as a sky, we'll go to add gradient, and let's go to go select blues. We'll see what we have right here, and I think this color will be dark blue. I think that one may work a little bit better. Okay, I'll take my dark blue. Again, blue on the top, and at bottom we want to do maybe something orangey. Kind of reddish, almost sunset. Okay, okay, right here. Select our fill, and we want to fill from top to bottom. So blue on the bottom and sunset on the top, and maybe even more bluish. So I'm going to let me go. Okay, options normal. So I don't want screen. There you go. Yeah, that does look good. And again, this is just a little bit of background to kind of creating our sky. Okay, next let's create a layer which one us will create a night scenery, and we'll just create a new let's go call blue, and you know what, just make it more visible. We'll go to blue color, change right here as well, and we'll go change color, probably something around darker blue right there. Okay, we'll select, and we'll just fill up with our blue color. Next, for the day, let's create new one, or actually light. So we'll go light, and this is probably our orange color, so I'm set to the orange. Go color selection, and probably a bit, maybe even brighter, even more this way. Okay, so we'll fill it. So this is two lights, and it's one consider our night and one will be light. We can go to select, and if you notice, we can go to our actual multiply mode, which is give it for us this dark night look already. And let's create mask on this layer, and we can kind of paint with a soft brush, soft round. We'll set opacity to 10%, and we'll switch to the black color. And this area I'm just painting where I don't necessarily want this blue. So I know the lights will come from this area, probably going down to the street. Don't worry about opacity, we'll change this, but overall probably around like this. And I don't want here at all. So this, you can see we just kind of adding a bit more strike on the lights. There you go. So this is one layer. We can now enable our light. Let's switch this. We can have it like, for example, soft light will create a little bit more. Screen too bright in this area, and we don't really, we could go with multiply as well. So we have options between soft light. I think in this case or soft light or overlay will work better. Let's go with the overlay. And the same as a painting. Actually, I want to create mask for this. Okay, one mask. and we're just going to paint off some of this our elements. We could also just make much easy by going to this mask, duplicate it and copy, but I'm not necessarily want to do. I want to kind of mix in some areas, so this way it's helped me to mix colors to create this cyanish overlay almost in some areas. Okay, again, I'm not sure if I like that much multiply. We can also adjusting it down. Let's go to our light, bring this a little bit down, maybe around here. Okay, how about a 30%, to just be sure remove it from the corners, make it a little bit more orange. Same right here, we'll just okay. Also, till I select, I want a little bit smoother, so till mask selected, we'll go to filter, blur. We're using Gaussian blur. We'll just pop up maybe about 20% on a mask one, and let's blur as well, smooth this one as well. So we'll smooth two masks, just make edges a little bit better. We can always hold down Alt key and look, this is our one mask, this is our another mask, and a smoothing just help those edges don't be so sticking out kind of. So this is our base kind of lighting overlay. Now I want to add lighting to elements. Also right here, if you notice, maybe on top a little bit too light. It probably won't be light, will go dissipate a little bit too fast. Same on top, we can go back, switch to white brush, 10%, and we can actually going and I think it's a remove black. Yeah, so with the black we can go and we kind of can bring a bit less, so kind of creating a little bit more fallout, less orangey right here. Let's go back to blue, switch on the white, and we'll add a little bit also on the sky. If it's too color, I think we can just leave it in, and let's go to filter, blur, and blur again, and we'll say blur by 5 pixels. So just edges kind of, you know what, maybe, yeah, blurring does not mean it expand, but we'll do this after. Okay, so again, let's go back here. Now we'll start kind of adding those lighting a little bit more directed, because if light's coming from here, these sides won't be highlighted. Edges, they will be still kind of bluish right here, because how the lights fall out. Right there, it will be blue, so it's on the corners. Okay, switching, remove blue, so we'll add a little bit more blue, or actually orange a little bit on those elements where it will be following. Right here, a little bit on the sign, maybe on a roof. Okay, same, we'll just add a little bit more around here. Okay, so this is kind of, again, very basic, and if for some reason we don't like this color, we always can switch it. We can adjust with a different coloring. Okay, so we're in Photoshop, and the first things we want to do, I noticed the horizon not necessarily straight. We'll go to adjust this. Let's select our straight tool. I'm going to content aware, and just a little bit adjustment, be sure it looks somewhat straight lines. Right here it kind of gives a straight line. You can see some of those guidance. Let's press enter when we're done. Okay, and you can see it's look a little bit better. So now we want to add layers, kind of dark. Before begin, let's go add replace a little bit on our sky, and for this we'll just take magic wand. We'll go a little bit closer, and the sky, and I just want to select sky here, there, and here. So right there selection will go also, well, maybe a little bit right there. Okay, I want just a little bit going in, so we'll go to select, modify, let's go to expand, maybe by 1 pixel. So we'll just go a little bit in more on that one. Okay, let's zoom out, create new layer. Let's go call it sky. And I just want to put a gradient on the sky. So we'll go select our gradient tool. And let's go see what we have in the blues. We'll just select one, kind of maybe bluish, darker bluish, like this color. And paint. I think this will look good. Again, remember, this will be behind color correction. I just don't want that things kind of stick it out too much. Okay, we'll take opacity, maybe just bring it up slightly. We'll just make our sky a little bit darker. Okay, next things, we're going to overall bring slightly brightness contrast down on our image. And doing this, we'll go with the curve. So we'll go select curve, convert this blending mode, changing to luminosity. And now you can notice when we modify, we'll modify just the luminosity of the image without affecting any saturation. So right here, we'll just bring overall slightly down. Emphasize on some dark areas, which help us to bring more night look to our image. Okay, now we want to overlay with the general colors that help us to create two colors. I want to overlay it will be kind of warmer night orangey color, and overall the color of the kind of dark like this night color. So to do first, let's go to select solid color layer. Okay, and for this solid color layer, we'll go select something like there maybe. And this is up to you. What do you think it should be? I like darker cyan kind of color. We'll go bluish cyanish. This will be our one color. And we'll also want to go switch. Maybe let's try multiply mode. So it's kind of look almost like darker blue. And notice right here, okay, let's go tap the blue. We'll have it our mask we're going to modify. The reason why I like to use solid colors on this, because in case if you decide you want to change color, it's much easier just going and modify color in our mask. So this will be our one color. The next solid color we want to create for our warm area. And for this same, we'll go create solid color. Only we're going to create a little bit warmer color. Brighter, warmer. Just let's, and again, we'll go modify our blending mode. We can go and multiply a little bit to the, we have to multiply or overlay. The both overlay, give it a little bit brighter. And I think we can start with multiply, and we'll see after what blending mode we want to change. Okay, and now we will start going to work with a mask, selecting by blue layer and a mask. And mostly what I want to do, it is creating right here some area where is usually light come from, and we'll say street light, probably around this area. So let's go take our brush. Okay, we'll have a black brush, and we can set to about 30% for now. Let's zoom it in, and you can start painting away. Again, we'll come back to this as you're going, because maybe you come back and says, hey, I need blue in some other areas. And overall, I would just remove this blue color around this bus. Used Vicom pad, it could be a little bit easier. I'm just using mouse, so for me, I'm just drag several times till I am kind of creating a little bit there. You know what, let's increase size of the brush and a little bit add blue adding from this area. Also, as we're going straight, we'll just remove a little bit right there on the sides. Sometimes it's easy, we'll just have to add shadows in our scenery, so we'll go a little bit more lights coming out this way on the side of our canisters. Right there, maybe here. We don't want on these sides. Maybe just a little bit. Okay, let's go zoom out. We'll set to 10%, just a little bit smoother. And I think around there. Okay, so this is about how lights will maybe going from their area. Okay, next let's go to our warm light. And I'm going to turn our lights to invisible for orange light. That way it's helped me to switch to white brush to add a color in those area where I thinking it should go. And again, we'll go to maybe 30% opacity. And we'll just start painting in. Again, we're using currently multiply mode. If it's in some cases, you maybe want to do like soft light. You can see it's add a little bit more blending versus multiply a little bit more coloring. So let's go to soft light maybe. And we'll just add maybe right here. Let's go come closer. We'll add a little bit more around those areas. Okay, we can see how lights coming out. A little bit more on top. Okay, let's go add to those areas. I don't want to go inside, but I want on a flat kind of just add. And you can see nice things when I start blending now with the blue. It's add a little bit more cyan color. Kind of makes nice. Okay, let's zoom out. So we have it lights. Of course, it is still needed a little bit more rework, but it's already given us those interesting colors. And like I said before, nice things about color. If I think it's too bright, we can always go a bit more dimmer, like around there. Okay, and the next step also, there's a little bit darker, I think, by window. So let's go to right there, just a little bit, bring up 10%. There you go. Okay, next what I want to do is add some of the glare. So this is maybe too high. So let's go to blue and just dim down a little bit lights right around there. Bring a little bit closer. There you go. Okay. So right there, a little bit lights inside the bus and everything. Let's bring those. We create new layer. And what we're going, just simple things, we'll select tool, and you can just drag, create it, and we'll go to fill this with the same warmer color. So we'll just fill up this triangle. Don't worry about it precisely, because what we're going to do, it is blur them out a little bit. So we'll add glow to them, and you know what, just add right here. Okay, let's go to select this one. Right here, we'll select inside here. Actually, you know what, I think this door opens, so let's go all the way. So we'll go all the way here. Also, we can add a little bit reflection to the glass. And this glass, you know, just let's put a little bit here as well. A window right there. So we'll just add to those windows. Let's go just add a little bit. And maybe just here. Yeah, I think that will work. Okay, well, what we did is just add some of those elements. Now we can go to filter, blur. We'll go to Gaussian blur. And let's bring in, oops, actually, I still have my selection enabled, so we'll go filter, deselect, blur, blur, and we can start bringing in. I think around that area will be good. Click OK, and we can switch this. You can see from different mode. I think overlay will look a little bit better in this case, and before and after. You just bring this extra punch, extra highlights to this area. Okay, we still have it, some areas. Now we want to work with the dodge and burn. So we'll have a dodge and burn. We'll go fill up dodge and burn 50% gray and set this layer to soft light. We'll take our brush, be sure it's a black and white, 10% opacity. And I'm just going to add, darken a little bit more some areas. I think the shadows should be stronger. And mostly it's helped me to frame a little bit better. You know, if, for example, if you want this sign to glow, we could also add, just as example, so we can create signs, same things like we did with the window. You can actually go select element, fill up this with a white color, filter, blur on this as well. We don't need this much, just a little bit blurring to smooth out, and switch this to a bit overlay, maybe work, or soft light, or you can, if you want, you can even go with the screen, but then you need to take down. So you can create a little bit adjustments like this, but I think in this case overlay will work a little bit better, just to bring slightly glowing element to this. Okay, let's go back to dodge and burn. And right here, I can also create a little bit more shadows in. And in some cases, I want the shadows be with the orange because it is reflective lighting. It's what happened. So we'll go right there. A little bit right in these areas. Okay, we can go with the white as well. and just add a little bit more glowing from those elements, a little bit brighter. Right here, let's zoom out. There. Darker. Okay, you can see we just added a little bit more effect to this. Okay, I think at this point I want to create a little bit more night glowing, so we'll go to Control-Shift-Alt-E or Command-Option Alt-E to create all layers. And this will be our glowing. We'll create new layer by combining all visible to one. Next, filter, blur, we go to Gaussian blur again. And let's pop out this, maybe about 20, maybe 26. Okay. And we'll go to now filter. And you can notice we can create soft light, overlay, go to all this mode. Screen will add also blurring, but we'll need it add more masking of this. I think soft light will add kind of nice effect to the glowing. And we can also just bring a little bit up, so it's add glowing to those elements. We have again some element pop up like right here. I think the coloring, yeah, on a blue. Yeah, it's right here. This one I don't like it. Let me go take white brush and just remove it because it kind of stand out, I think. There you go. Just make it a little bit more even. Okay, so right here we add glowing effect. Maybe pop up even a little bit more. Don't worry if it's dark, we'll start working soon with our curves. So we can create curve. Let's call it luminosity, because we'll switch to luminosity, and in this case we can also effect, and you can see we can decrease, increase, create our contrast. And I want to just take a little bit pop up on the white up, just bring overall contrast, maybe like around here. Okay, and let's take our dark point, and you can notice we can bring overall darkness a little bit up, make it a little bit flatter. Okay, let's create, maybe it's too much around here, before and after. Again, you can adjust the darkness as you want it, but I think this way creating interesting. And let's add another curve. This one will be our color. And we'll switch blending mode to the color on this. And now we can a little bit more adjust with overall offset. So if we set to blue channel, we'll pop up and take create warmer, so you can see we have it kind of more illustration to this point. Let's go to red channel, and we can actually create quite a bit interesting effect. But I think if we go back to cyan and restore our red on the highlights, we'll add a little bit more night look to this. Another layer we'll call grain, and we'll just simulate, fill up with 50% gray. Filter, noise, add noise. We'll just add maybe leave it up and switch to the soft light. So overall, if you look, it just add a little bit of this noise like you shot in a night time. Again, this is optional. If you want it, you can create or not, but we'll just add just a little bit. Okay, so at this point we have it all is kind of creating some ambient light. And again, luminosity, let's look, maybe this is too bright, maybe not, just take just a little bit down here. bring contrast slightly. So brightening up those elements and darken kind of effect. Again, right here, some elements blur in the windows, other ones we can spend a bit more time to touch up, but sometimes what happens, lights kind of going from reflecting from lights from different areas. There are also other things what we can, it's create a little bit more volumetric lights from the sides, because somewhere on a roof, right here for example, lights is going, so we can going in our dodge and burn. Let's come closer, take brush in this case, and just a little bit darken around this area. Make it lights kind of, and also let's go from the bottom here as well, we'll darken kind of, make more in areas where you think the lights may going. So because on the middle we darken in this area right there. Okay, let's go look up. Okay, right there, I think. Kind of blackish, we'll make it dark black night almost. Okay, just to add a little bit of those okay, let's go a little bit closer right here. I still don't like light, so let's go switch to a little bit brighter. We'll add bright here and a little bit dark those areas. Okay, bright right there. Little bit add around here. Lights. There you go. So kind of like almost, you see where's a light falling, and can create also this light should be a little bit brighter, I think, in this area. So we'll brightening up here. Okay, add it. Okay, other ways also what we can do, just above the glow, let's create a layer, we'll call it rays, and we're going with 100% white. So we can always just go from the maybe middle point or some other areas like corner, and we want to simulate some of the slides. So we can go here, one, hold down shift and make a light, just perspective lights. So we're kind of creating rays almost going like this. Okay, create a few of them, come from central. Let's go to filter, restore. We'll go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur on this as well. Pop up quite a bit more, run there, and we'll switch to soft light. You can just see it, just add a little bit more of the lighting, the rays lighting. Again, this is if you think you want to emphasize, but I'll just take them a little bit, add small coloring. Okay, that's before our green. Let's take a green below our luminosity. Okay, and our coloring layer. And let's go do one more thing on the top just to finish this. Actually, we need it. I don't want this. I want curve. Switch to, actually before switching, let's take this handle, bring all the way down, This will be our global vignetting. Just go around, select, fill this with color, so we have it frame around, and we'll go on a curve for feathering, and we'll just bring feathering in and switch this to soft light. You can see just add a little bit more vignetting, black vignetting, because I kind of did not necessarily like this coloring on the middle was, so we'll do it this way. Okay, so right here our point of tension, and we can now take all of ours, create new layer. Let's call modification mod, and here's we had before and we have after. So again, it's a little bit different image. It's not necessarily better. I do like just the simplicity of the original image with all this texturing, everything. But if you want to bring something more standout, point to specific, this way you can create kind of look mystery. And if you want to add more mystery to this, you can always just create, and this was kind of my idea maybe before, we could create a new layer, take our brush, switch to black color, and we can always just create, okay, Control Z, I want to actually solid color on this. You can just create compositing right here, bring dark black figurine, staying on the middle, so you can create even more story with some dark person. Blur, got blur on this person, you know, like this kind of very shadowy, something lurking in the dark. So we can even bring like right there, kind of, you know, to bring a little bit more interesting story to this. Again, this is optional, but it's give you some interesting idea to play with this. And overall, it does change mood of the picture from open somewhere in the alley to something darker, hiding in this way. So I appreciate you watching this tutorial, and I hope kind of find it fun and useful, and maybe start experimenting with some of your other images from your travel or some other area you find. And thank you for watching this.